Hey everyone, Christina Careless here. This is my second GIMP tutorial. I'm going to do my tutorial on how to add your photo to a different background. I'm going to be using a vector background, which you don't have to use. You can download free backgrounds off of tons of websites, or edit onto a solid color background, or edit into a different picture. But this is just my example on how to edit it into my vector background. If you do not have a vector brush, which is what I'm going to be using to make the background, I have a tutorial on how to make that brush, and I'll go ahead and link that in the caption for you. You do not have to make your own vectors, but I make my own. I don't use other people's, but you can download them or make your own, whichever one you choose. Okay, so I'm going to take this picture of myself and add it to a different background. The first thing I want to do is I actually want to keep the size of this picture, so I'm going to go to New, create a new image, and it will come up with the correct width and height for you. So I'm just going to click OK. And it's going to open it as a yellow background because I had yellow as my background color. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. This is going to be for my vector. The background color I'm going to go ahead and keep as yellow, just because I don't want it to be white or black, because my GIMP or my brush for my vector is actually black and white. So I'm just going to, you just select your brush tool, your paintbrush tool, and find your brush in your brushes, and then just click. And the reason why I'm doing mine a little offset is because the photo that I'm doing is a little offset, so I don't want the center showing. Okay. Alright, so now you can see the vector image. And I'm going to go ahead and scale it since it doesn't quite fit. So I'm just going to stretch that until it fits. Okay, and then I'm just going to hit scale. Okay, and I definitely don't want to keep the black and white and yellow. That just looks weird. So I'm going to make two new layers. Just come up here to layer and click new layer. And this will be the black layer. And then this will be the white. Now you don't have to name them. I'm just naming them for you guys so that you can see what I'm clicking on. Okay, so I'm going to click on my vector, and I'm going to click Select by Color tool. And I'm going to go ahead and select the black first. So this is going to select all of the black in the picture. Now I'm going to come over to the black, and I'm going to select a different color for it. I'm going to go ahead and use a pink. Okay, so I'm going to use my paint, or my bucket fill tool, and just click on here, and there we go. I'm going to go ahead and do select none. That way it's not selected anything. And I'm going to go click back onto the vector background and select by color again and select the white. Now this time I'm going to do something different, that way you guys can see how this is done. I'm actually going to use a pattern instead of just a regular color. So you click on your bucket and click on the options, and you're going to go to pattern fill. Click on the pattern and choose whatever pattern you choose. I'm going to go ahead and choose this purple sparkly background. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure I am on the correct layer. Click on the white layer and fill it in. There we go. And I'm going to go back and select none again. Okay, now this made a really jagged edge around everything, so to help fix that, I am going to delete this vector, which won't really help on the jagged part, but I'm going to take the black layer, which is now pink, and I'm going to go to Blur and Gaussian Blur. And I'm going to go ahead and take it up to 10. Click OK. And this should blur the line for you. Now the yellow is still blurry, so I'm going to go ahead and select the white, and which is purple now, and we're going to blur this one as well, which kind of sucks because it's glittery, but that's okay. It'll still work. Now it's not jagged around the edges, but it is really blurry. But it just depends on the size of your brush. Mine is a little small, so it came out a little jagged. Okay, so I'm going to merge all these together. Now that makes my background. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to my original picture that I want, and to select the outline of what you want into the picture, you're going to use your free select tool. I already did it because it takes a little bit to get it around. So I'm just going to right click on this, edit, copy, come over to this and edit, paste. Now it is on this background. Okay, so I'm going to make a new layer so that it'll anchor this layer. Now see how it's really jagged, just like it was with the background? We're going to go ahead and fix that. So Alpha 2 select on your pasted layer, which is right here, and you're going to shrink. I'm going to go ahead and shrink by 8 pixels. No, that might be too much. So we're going to try 5. Shrink by 5. 5 pixels. Okay, that's good. Okay, now I'm going to, I don't want to blur this part, so I'm going to right click, select, and invert the selection. This will select the tiny border around the picture. And we are going to go back to the Gaussian blur, and we're going to go ahead and make it a 7. That should be good. Okay, now select none, and your background should blur better with your photo. Okay, and I'm going to make a glow around myself, so I'm going to go ahead and Alpha 2 selection on the pasted layer again, new layer, and we're going to call this one the glow, and you want to make sure this is below your picture, so it's below your picture, and I'm going to use white, so I'm going to grow, and I'm going to grow it by 20 pixels. Okay, now you can see the selected part. Click on your glow and click the bucket fill tool. Oh, and it's still on the pattern. Make sure you click your foreground or your background color tool, depending on which background you want. I want white, so we're going to do the foreground. Okay, now it's white. Now I don't like how it's very choppy around it, so I'm going to blur that as well, so it's more of a glow. Just going to use the Gaussian blur just like I did before, and I'm going to go ahead and hike it all the way up to a 25. Alright, so now it is officially a glow. So that is how you put your photo onto a different background. If you want to do more to this, you can. If you don't, then you can merge all of these layers down, and you're going to go ahead and click Save As, and then save it as whatever file you want it to be saved as. You most likely will want to save it as a JPG, which will be, it's able to be used on pretty much any social network or anything for a default picture, or in an album or anything like that. So yeah, if you want to add more to this, like text or anything like that, you can. You can add whatever you want. Just, I hope that you enjoyed my video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe and like, and stay tuned for more tutorials. Thanks for watching.